Hey guys, Sean here, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video. As you guys may not know, there's rumored of another superstar shakeup after SummerSlam, and it's going to feature people possibly moving up and down from NXT, as well as in between Raw and SmackDown. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to cover who I think is going to go where, and what would be, per Triple H, best for business. Let's get straight into it. First up, I want to talk about Monday Night Raw and who they might be getting. I think they might be getting AJ Styles. It's been rumored for a long time that Vince McMahon wants the face that runs the place on Monday nights, and I do believe he's exhausted everything he can do on SmackDown. I know people will be angry about this because, oh my god, he didn't have his New Japan rematch with Nakamura. They could do that at SummerSlam. It's rumored that they could do that at SummerSlam. A lot of people don't want this to happen. I myself am one of them. Again, I want Nakamura AJ at WrestleMania, and I also want to see AJ go up against some of the other people who will be traded to SmackDown later in the video. I will not tell you about at the moment because that would be spoiler. But I do believe, since he's United States Champion, it may make things a little bit complicated. But I think he might drop the US title at SummerSlam because he seems to be doing the whole hot potato thing with the US title, similar to what Sasha Banks and Charlotte did last year. Yeah, there's no other way about it. I think the face that runs the place will be running Monday nights and having some awesome matches with the likes of Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, and Braun Strowman. Coming up in the second pick, now I tried to pick one main guy, one person who's getting a bit of steam, maybe a crap gimmick, and could do better on the other brand, and women, some of NXT, and a tag team. So I chose Mike and Maria Kanellis to go over to Monday Night Raw. They might not do this since they just debuted, and they might not do it because they think they're too similar to The Miz and Maryse. But speaking of Miz and Maryse, I think they can have an incredible feud with them. But they just run out of steam on SmackDown. They arrived with a deadbeat gimmick, and they've lost his first feud to Sami Zayn, and it doesn't look like he's going to go anywhere on SmackDown. So I do believe Mike and Maria Kanellis will not only move to Raw, but bring the power of love with them. Good God Almighty, he's broken in half. Up next is the NXT pick that I chose for. Well, I only chose one, and I chose Mr. Bobby Roode, the glorious NXT champion. I do believe he's going to drop the belt at TakeOver Brooklyn 3 to Drew McIntyre. And I do believe he'll go up shortly after that. If it's not at SummerSlam, then after Survivor Series in the TakeOver match after that. But again, Bobby Roode speaks for himself. I think he can do some great work on Monday nights. He has an awesome gimmick. He has a glorious moveset. I'm going to try turning down with the glorious puns. But he is a very, very good wrestler. And he's a very good worker as well. And also he's good friends with Triple H, I believe. And he'll definitely be able to get some good time on Monday nights. So I do believe the glorious Bobby Roode will make his triumphant main roster debut on Monday Night Raw. And it could be good. I'm thoroughly going to enjoy Bobby Roode down. He had a year in NXT. He'll come up now. But next is the women's pick over from SmackDown, and I chose to bring over Becky Lynch. I decided to bring over Becky because, again, she's sort of doing nothing on SmackDown, and I do believe she might be a very good contender into the Raw Women's title picture. Have her, Sasha Bayley, and Bliss in like a four-way for the title, similar to doing with a tag team division with the Hardys, the Revival, the Club, and Sheamus and Cesaro. And I believe Becky Lynch could be good. She definitely has experience with the others. Her and Bliss had a very good rivalry on SmackDown. Sasha and Bayley definitely aren't strangers to her with the Four Horsewomen. And I do believe she can have also some good matches with Mickie James as well. And I believe it could be good. So, again, Becky Lynch going over, bringing her, I don't know, what's her gimmick? Fire, I guess? Bringing her fire over the Raw? I don't know. But next for the tag team, I'm going to go with the Usos. Again, the Usos, they had amazing career rejuvenation with the SmackDown Live tag titles, and I believe they've been one of the better things. And then also, the moving on, I won't have to hear the rap battle of going, "Hey man, ain't your Kofi Kingston?" Seriously, they're still feuding over this rap battle. We've had enough, even though it was a pretty good rap battle. But I do believe the Usos could bring over, and they could add a more heel again gimmick to the tag division. Maybe have the club as faces and with the Hardys, or if they want to go Broken Hardys, then it can just be a jumbled mess, I guess. Even though people will probably cheer the Broken Hardys. But anyways, the Usos go back over to Raw, and I do believe they can do some good stuff over on Monday night. It'll definitely be a lot more exciting. But now over to SmackDown. Seth Rollins, he's coming over. I believe Seth Rollins has done all he can do on Monday Night Raw. He seems to be getting on into these deadbeat storylines at the moment. The first one with Bray Wyatt, and now with Dean Ambrose. It's sort of like a reformation of the Shield against the Miztourage. I do believe Seth is sort of struggling a bit as a babyface, and there was a lot of babyfaces on SmackDown with the likes of Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and John Cena and Randy Orton that he could go back to being a heel, replace Jinder Mahal as the top heel on SmackDown. Against Seth, he could have some awesome matches. Sami, Kevin, Nakamura in a dream match against Nakamura. Cena, Orton, Baron Corbin. You just name anyone on SmackDown, I'm guaranteeing you that Seth Rollins is going to have a great match with them. And again, he can go back to his heel persona, which I think is a lot more interesting than his face persona. And I believe the 2K18 cover star, the Architect Seth Rollins, is coming over to Tuesday nights. Up next, again, the superstar that doesn't have a lot of steam that I think could do some good. His name is Enzo Amore, and he's a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. There you go. I think I did okay there. Enzo, again, he's just been outclassed by Big Cass on every conceivable level. Besides the promos, he's very good at promos. But yeah, there's nothing really going for him at the moment on Raw, and I do believe a jump to SmackDown could be a good career renaissance for Enzo. They're sort of establishing he can't fight on SmackDown, so on Raw. Maybe on SmackDown again, he could go into a manager, but I do believe that Enzo is a good performer on his day. Maybe pair him up with another tag team and get another tag team going on SmackDown. Maybe pair him up with the Hype Bros, or have him go with Ellsworth. I'm not sure. I should know that. Yeah, Ellsworth, and rejoin with Carmella, even though Carmella and Cass are partnership in real life. Maybe have him have a feud with Ellsworth because of Carmella. There you go. There's a lot of good storylines for Enzo on SmackDown. I think he could make the jump during the next shakeup. Up next for the tag teams, we have the Revival. No flips, just fists. On their first night on the main roster, the Raw after WrestleMania, they defeated the New Day and took Xavier Woods out of commission for a little while. So they already have that built-in storyline. And again, the Revival are amazing. And since they just come back, they could be getting a tag title match against Cesaro at SummerSlam. But I'd love to see them go over to SmackDown and do their thing. Just the Revival. They're awesome. What else do you really have to say about them? Really beef up the tag division with the New Day. And again, they'd be the heels. Maybe they could turn Breezango into heels, even though they're too well liked. But maybe create a new heel team. But the Revival can be one of the best heels on SmackDown. And they can win the titles and just hold them forever, if I'm quite honest. They're just that good. Up next, we have the women. The women's tag team division on SmackDown is a bit of a shambles. So I'm bringing over Nia Jax. I'm bringing over 4 women. 3 of them from NXT, 1 from Raw. Nia Jax. Again, she has done some good stuff this year. Had a good couple of matches with Sasha Banks. Looks very strong at WrestleMania, having Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Charlotte team up to have to eliminate her. And also, again, she has looked okay after WrestleMania. Feuded a bit with Alexa Bliss, dominating the first ever women's gauntlet before getting ultimately defeated by Sasha Banks. And even though she has been a bit quiet in recent times, I mean, she bulldozed Emma on Raw this week. But I do believe that Nia Jax could come over and could prove a good test for the babyface champion at the time, be it Naomi, Charlotte, you name it. Up next on the list, all three of these people are from NXT. And the first one, you know she's coming up after this. You just know. It's the current NXT champion, Asuka. Today, Asuka surpassed the New Day's record WWE Tag Team title reign, and she is set to become the second longest women's champion reign in the history of WWE, behind the fabulous Moolah. But Asuka, again, good babyface, good heel. She's good as a tweener. She's loved by the fans, and just Asuka. She could go on another winning streak on the main roster. Maybe finally get the SmackDown Women's title off Naomi and get rid of that stupid glowing belt. And yeah, again, she could have some awesome matches with the likes of Naomi, Nia Jax, who she fought in NXT for a brief spell. Again, Becky Lynch gone over, but there's still Natalya, Carmella, who she did fight in NXT for a little bit. Charlotte. I don't think we've ever seen Asuka versus Charlotte. I think that could be a good match. And again, but she has that credibility down in NXT by being one of the longest reigning champions in the history of the WWE. And since she's probably going to lose the title to Ember Moon, I do think it's finally time for her to go up to the main roster. But up next, being combined as a duo, it's the iconic duo, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. I know neither of these women have won the NXT Women's title, and theirs will be a massive loss to NXT. But I do think NXT can still manage with its women's division. Again, the Mae Young Classic, Ember Moon, Ruby Riott, Nikki Cross, and again, two women coming down to NXT in a little bit. But I think the iconic duo will come up and they'll be good heels, sort of like a Bella Twin sort of thing, in terms of heels, with a team of heels. Now it's time for NXT. It's time for the women first, and coming down is Tamina. Tamina, again, hasn't really done a whole lot since she's come back. It's sort of a bit underwhelming. She was the first eliminated in the Fatal 5-Way for the number contendership of the SmackDown Women's title at Battleground. Again, we will be doing reviews on that soon enough. Stay tuned. She has, again, this partnership thing with Lana that hasn't really gone anywhere. And I think a move down to NXT would be good for her. Mainly because there's no major powerhouse in NXT. All the other women in NXT are pretty agile in terms of a moveset. But so it would be sort of interesting to throw Tamina in there, this wild card, with her strength and ability in the ring to combat someone like Ember Moon. What will win, the Splash or the Eclipse? So that could be a decent feud right there. Up next, I know she was in NXT before, but I think she needs a bit of a character regeneration. Emma. I know Emma was in NXT first. She was in the first ever NXT Women's title match where she lost to Paige. But again, Emma, she's been plagued by injuries in her career. She's very frustrated how they're treating her at the moment. I know some people are saying, oh, she could be fired for this. But I think a move down to NXT could do her the world of good. Again, there's not a lot of heels with Asuka, Peyton Royce, and Billie Kay leaving. I guess Nikki Cross is sort of a tweener. People are starting to really like Sanity. And pretty much everyone likes Nikki Cross as well, but also Ruby Riott and Ember Moon. So Emma could come down as this dastardly heel who, again, top heel on the women's division, has that experience in NXT and could prove a decent adversary to whoever the babyface champion is, or the tweener champion in Nikki Cross's case. Again, this is sort of to help beef up the women's division after the loss of Asuka. After 2 years of dominance of Asuka, we need some more bodies in there. And now for the men, the entire cruiserweights. I bring the entire cruiserweights down to NXT. Here's why. The cruiserweights on the main roster are not working. Neville, again, one of the most dominant champions in WWE at the moment, and he's ruling a division that looks okay at best. Like, Tozawa's looking alright, Perkins has good ability in the ring, Kendrick is getting good ability, what you call them? See, again, there's not a lot of cruiserweights being shown off on TV. Yeah, I said Tozawa. Swan, again, alright. I think this could be shown as a stage for NXT. Also, maybe scrap 205 Live and make NXT 2 hours long with the cruiserweights, and possibly make NXT live. Since NXT things are taped, spoilers get out, it's a bit silly. But then you could also integrate some of the NXT roster with the 205 Live cruiserweight division, like Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, who were in the Cruiserweight Classic, weren't with the Cruiserweights when they debuted on the main roster. They stayed in NXT as DIY. But again, you could also probably have inter-brand matches, maybe like Pete Dunne versus Neville versus Drew McIntyre, champion versus champion versus champion. Maybe make the Cruiserweight title the secondary title along with the United Kingdom Championship. Then you can also integrate the UK guys in there as well. So again, it'd be a lot more of a talent pool for NXT to deal with in 1 hour a week. So maybe do 2 hours. I think that would be an awesome decision for NXT. Again, also Neville will be coming back to NXT as a dominant champion, like he sort of was in NXT. I think he has the second longest title reign, so he's third longest now with Bobby Roode. Second at the time, second longest in history with Finn Balor. If we're not counting Bobby Roode's current title reign. But in terms of people coming down from the main roster, I selected 2 people. One of those people is Bo Dallas. As you know, Bo Dallas is a former NXT champion. And if you look at the other former NXT champions, Nakamura, Roode, Balor, Joe, Rollins, Zayn, Owens, and then compare them with Bo Dallas, one of those things just doesn't belong. One of those things is just not like the other. But Bo Dallas, he did have a good character in NXT, but when he came up, he sort of became main roster cannon fodder. Same thing as Neville. So I think if Bo comes down, he could go back to that original gimmick that he has. And again, he is a good wrestler. I mean, he's the son of Owen R. Shyster, IRS, and the brother of Bray Wyatt. So there's that. But I think it would be cool to have Bo Dallas go back down to NXT, and he could do some good stuff. He has done some good stuff in NXT, and they could do him as a babyface if that's not working, as a heel. Please bring back Bo Ryder for one of your gimmicks. We need Bo Ryder. He has the bars. Finally, going down to NXT, you're going to be surprised at this. To replace Bobby Roode in the main event scene, Dolph Ziggler. He's here to show NXT why he's the show-off. I know Dolph Ziggler, he's really been struggling in the main roster for a good while now. I think the only good feud he's had for a long time was that feud with The Miz. But he hasn't really done a lot. He's been mainly used to put people over. Hasn't been seen a lot on SmackDown in a long time. So I think a move down to NXT could be beneficial for Dolph Ziggler, and maybe getting the NXT title picture as well. But that's it for me today. This has been my predictions for another Superstar Shakeup. This could happen after SummerSlam, could happen after Survivor Series, could happen whenever. So this is my predictions and sort of a fantasy booking thing, who will go down and up from NXT and shift around the main roster. This is it for this video. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. We'll see you later. Take care.